Welcome back, and in this one we will start creating apps like the pros. We need to use Node.js and NPM to create a project, and we use it with the installer, and that we use Vite or Vite, which is the tooling library that Vue uses. Okay, so first you need to have Node.js installed in your computer. If you don't, you need to install it. Go to the introduction of this course, and there's a video right there. If you go to the documentation, we go to the get started right here at the bottom. And then inside there at the left, you can see the quick start. And if you keep scrolling down, it's going to say creating a Vue application. It will give you all the different ways to install it. But don't worry, we're going to do it together. I'm going to go to the VS Code and I'm inside the directory I want. It's called comps. And on this one, we just need to go to the terminal. I'm going to use the integrated terminal of VS Code because, if you're using VS Code, you have the same terminal. And right here, the only thing we need to do now, it's NPM, then create, and we need to go to space, and then view and add latest. Now in this case, since I want to install everything inside the current directory, which is called comps, I'm going to do space and a dot at the end. Now, if you press enter, maybe it's going to start installing the packages and everything else, or maybe it will tell you if this is the first time you use it, it's going to say need to install the following packages and OK to proceed. You need to do yes to proceed. It will ask you a few questions before installing everything. So the first thing is the package name. In this case, this one is going to be called comps. I'm going to name it that way. I'm going to press enter. It will ask you, do you want to use TypeScript? In this case, I'm just going to use JavaScript, not TypeScript, because not everyone knows TypeScript. I'm going to say no. JSX support, I'm going to say no. Then Vue router. For, creating routes, we are going to do that later. So for now, I'm going to say no. And then Pina, we're going to do that later. That state management is like the Redux of Vue. I'm going to say no. And then unit testing, we are not going to do that. I'm going to say no. And then ESLint, if you want to, you can say yes. But in this case, I'm going to say no. And then again, Vue DevTools, we're going to talk about that much later. But now I'm going to say no. Now, once it's done, it's going to give you this npm install and run dev. It seems like I need to update npm, but that's fine. I'm going to do it behind the scenes. So once everything's done, it's going to install the files that you need, but still, you need to install the dependencies. So now npm install, just npm install, and it will go install the dependencies. It will create the node folder where all the dependencies are, the node modules. So once you're done, you're ready. You need to do npm and then run and then dev, just like it says right here. It will run the development server. So npm and then run and then dev. Once it's done, I'm going to press enter. It will create a development server of the current application, which is, a template that we get within the local host 5173. I'm going to copy the location. I'm going to go to the browser. And if I copy paste, we get, a Vue application up and running. And notice that it says right here, tooling, the project is served in a bundle with Vite or Vite. I call it Vite because, I guess a lot of people call it that way. It's Vite, actually. So if you go to the left, we have a lot of things. So I'm going to give you a tiny little tour, and then we're going to start, using this framework. So I guess we need to start. The first one is going to be the SRC. This is the source. And here we will put all the components. Here is where we do all the coding of the application. Here is where the application starts. On the main.js, notice that we are creating an app, a Vue app, and then we are just importing the components and everything else. We're going to do it together, don't worry. But this is the kickstart of the application. And if you create components, you're going to need to put them inside of the source. If not, nothing is going to work. Since the main.js starts the application, the app that views like the main screen, I'm going to make it a little bit less bigger. So right here, this is the start of the application. And inside, it's calling different components within the components directory. And this is, what we can see right here on the screen. This is the application. Now then you have the public directory. This is where all your static files will go, like images or things that you want to share on that private. Then you have your git ignore if you're going to put this on git. And notice that you have the index.html. So this is where the application, the HTML that it's going to serve to the browser. And like we did before on the previous sections, we have the div with the ID of app. And then it's using that main.js, which is the kickstart of the application, the main.js that it's inside source. And then, then you have the rest of the configuration files, which is going to be the Vite config. Behind the scenes, Vue uses Vite or Vite Vite to compile the JavaScript, and this is a configuration file. You don't need to mess with this unless you really need to. And like always, you have your package.json, where it's going to state all the different dependencies and the scripts in how to run the application. But don't worry, we're going to use and we're going to work with this much later. For now, we just need to start with the source. We need to go here and start, creating an application. So what I'm going to do, because I want to start from the very beginning, I want to show you how to build an application from scratch. I'm going to delete everything. Yeah, I'm going to delete everything. I'm going to go to components. I'm going to kaboom this. I'm going to delete it and delete permanently. And I'm going to go to app. I'm going to delete it as well. And I'm going to delete the main.js. I'm going to delete. Now, if I, of course, reload the application, I'm going to kill the server and start it again. It's going to give me an error. It's going to say fail to load the main.js. So we need to go to the next one and, create the files and the components that we're going to use.